Hi, I'm your host, Troy Clarke with DrinkBOS, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Bottle, where we go inside beyond the liquid to talk with owners and operators and how they're making a difference in our communities. Today, I'm here at Casa Loca in Westwood, and I want to talk to the owner, Frank Santo of the Wellesley Restaurant Group. So welcome, Frank.
Hey, thanks for having me, Troy.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk a little bit about what's been going on. But before we kind of dive right into it, I'd love for you to talk a little bit about your group and the different concepts you have.
Okay, well, we started back in 2008. We opened the local in West Newton. That was our first unit. And then from there, we had great success there. We were, obviously it was a busy restaurant, and we started looking around for other locations. We ended up finding Wellesley. We opened Wellesley, Wayland, and then we went on to, Wellesley, Wayland, Waltham, and now we're in Westwood. I know, all W towns.
All W's,
I know,
yeah.
right.
Wellesley
That's what everybody
Restaurant
says.
Group.
You only go to W's, and I said, yeah. But that's basically the quick, story on how we get started and where we are now.
And how many restaurants do you have now?
5.
5 restaurants.
5. 4 locals and Casa Loca in Westwood.
Casa Loca. And what made you leave, changing the concept from the local to Casa Loca?
Well, I've always been in love with the Mexican concept. I've always enjoyed Mexican, and I've seen the success of some different Mexican restaurants around town, and I like the food, I like the drinks. I've always wanted to do one. And then as we grew the local concept, people would say, well, you want to go Mexican one night, you want to go American, you want to go Italian. So we figured we'd start to grow and kind of develop some different concepts so we can get people, twice a week.
2-3 times a week,
yeah,
which is
sure.
kind of nice. And I know we're going to dive into some of these drinks. They're just making my mouth water in a few minutes. But I want to focus a little bit about this year. It's been a really hard year for restaurant owners and operators and a lot of people during something that no one could have ever foreseen coming.
Right.
And you being an owner of multiple concepts here, what's this year been like for you? How's it been?
It's been it's at this point it's cliche to say it's been challenging, but it's been incredibly challenging. And when I first got into this business 30 years ago, people would say, "Oh my God, you're opening a restaurant. Why? It's such a tough business." And I always said, "It's a tough business," but my point was it's always tougher. It was tougher on my wife than it is on me. I love what I do.
Yes.
I love going to the restaurants. I love being in them. I love being around them.
I can attest to that.
And it's like she's like, "You're never home." It's fine, but nothing like this year. I've had slow years. I'll be honest, I've closed restaurants. I've had busy restaurants. I've had slow restaurants. I've had restaurants that had to close. I've had restaurants that lost money. Nothing like this year, though, where it's just so challenging for, when the governor shut us down, actually we're going almost a year now, I said, wow, I've been doing this a long time. No one's ever told me that you can't do this, you can't do that. And for him to just shut it down, I said, okay, well, this is going to be, what did any of us know? I said, this will be a week,
Couple
2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah.
I didn't know. It's funny because I was traveling a little bit right before the end, and you started to see the masks on people in the airport and things like that. And, you'd hear little things about it. And then, I got home, and then the weekend before was really quiet. I was like, wow, word is getting around, and because I believe it was the St. Patrick's Day weekend. Usually we're jammed. It's a good weekend for us, and it was just eerily quiet. And then the Sunday, I believe Sunday was St. Patrick's Day, and then Monday, I think my Waltham restaurant did for the day like $800. Normally it was $8,000, but it was, and then Tuesday, I think they shut it down. Yeah. And then, like you said, I said maybe a couple weeks, we'll get out of this. I kept everybody on the payroll. I said, let's wait and see.
Yeah, definitely a struggling time for everyone. But I think sometimes in the most difficult times is when we get most creative, and that's what we're really used to, that hustle and bustle and trying to figure things out. And we evolve, and I've seen a lot of creativity come out of restaurants in a very challenging time. I mean, I think we're looking at some unique things that you're doing in your restaurant, which was this to-go cocktail that finally got passed in the state, which I think helped people stay connected to restaurants,
right?
And help them see that difference. So, talk to me. How did you get into doing to-go cocktails?
And that was another thing. That's again on a side note. That's what I love about this business, because my team came to me, or the governor or somebody said, we'll allow this. And I said, you know what, guys, I don't think they're going to sell. I said, I'll make the investment in the bottles and the packaging. I said, but just to my team, I don't think. We launched them, and it's crazy how they sell. And I'm so happy that, we do allow that now. And, quite frankly, I don't see it going away either. But
let's hope not.
We'll see.
I think it's great. I think, I think it's an extension of hospitality into people's homes that they never got to experience in Massachusetts before.
Right.
And it's such a great way to show creativity. I mean, if I'm at home, I'm not making a 10 ingredient drink or making this special
and what are the chances
syrup,
you even have everything?
or even have it, right? I'd love to be able to say, you know what, I can't go to Casa Loca tonight, but I want to be able to have that experience at home, and I want to have that margarita that they make that I love, right? Having this is such a great option for people, and I love how you focused on making sure that the label wasn't just stuck on there, or wasn't just in like a simple mason jar. You completed it with the package and the label, and it looks good, it feels good, and I think that's really important, which is really cool.
And the guest is comfortable with that. Like we can't. And I get it. You can't have, like you said, a mason jar with plastic wrap on it. Here you go. Bring back the cup, please. Or, what I mean? You can't. We can't. If you're going to do something, we have to do it right, which is fine. Which is, in the restaurant business, we always have to do it right. I mean, it's, that's why this whole thing with the cleansing and we've always been doing that. I mean, we do that all the time.
Restaurants are constantly cleaning, and I think it just looks into the policies and practices that have been in restaurants prior, coming in a pandemic like this, where you have a heightened sense of cleanliness now. But it's something that we've always focused on, which I think gives consumers even more confidence to come back out and dine in
restaurants. And who wins? The guest wins.
Yeah, the guest wins.
The guest wins, and that's what we're all about.
So I also was talking with some of your team, which I thought was really awesome. You guys do like 5 different draft cocktails. You have some different margaritas on there. You have a house sangria. Talk to me a little bit about, in a difficult time like this, when staffing can be challenging, and still be able to put out a consistent product, how draft cocktails has helped you.
Oh, I think you're going to see it as part of the future, because, as you know, on our end, we're always concerned about labor. Labor's going up. Labor's getting expensive. Labor is a challenge for us. We want to pay people, but at what point is the guest, at what point can we pass on to the guest? How much are they willing to pay for a margarita or for, a plate of tacos or whatever, so anyway, but what this does is speeds up the process. Maybe we can go with 2 bartenders instead of 3, or maybe those bartenders can get off the bar, and I know here they do that. They help with these tables in the lounge, and they can make more money. But I think it just, my feeling from, if we just go back to operations, is, and you know this as well. If we want to make a true margarita, it's a pour, a shake. And if we're going to sell in a Mexican restaurant where you're going to sell 90% margaritas on that night, what a 6-minute cocktail to make, or to get from the bar to the guest, 6, 7, 8 minutes, or, and time stretches out as the restaurant gets busier, we can cut that time down to 2, 3 minutes.
Right.
And that time is money. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you have consistency, you have speed of operation, you know, and then also volume. I mean, when it comes down to it, you're not emptying as many bottles as fast. You know, you're talking about, and I think in your case, we're talking about 5 gallons at a time that you're moving through and being able to circle through, which is really, really awesome. But a consistent for the end user, where they're getting something really great, and using the resources of what's available now and investing that into your restaurant to give a better experience for your customers. I think that's really awesome, and as you said, I think there's definitely going to be some stuff coming and continuing. People, you know, not looking as this something is not as good a quality, right? We've associated cocktails with draft not really being high quality, but here you're using all fresh ingredients, fresh juice, fresh agave, high quality spirits going into the packaging or into the draft unit, and I think that makes a difference of what your end customer is getting.
Absolutely, yeah. The proof is is in the end. You know, if it didn't taste good, we wouldn't do it. And I try them all. I mean, and they consistency is what we're going for, and that's what the draft cocktails creates. Controlling consistency, controlling costs, and it all. You know, it all bears out in the when the guest gets that drink. It's the same every time. The McDonald's principle, right?
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
that burger's the same no matter where you order it. And you know,
so you got these draft cocktails going on, but what's your top selling cocktail here in the restaurant? I gotta know, what are people drinking?
Well, other than the margarita, I'd have to say it's the Coco Loco.
Coco Loco.
And we do mix that. You know, it's not batched out like our draft cocktails, but it is. Probably it has to be our best seller. It's delicious, yeah.
And what are we using in that? Do you,
yes.
I'm going to put you on the spot now.
Okay, yeah.
We're not behind the bar every night. But
I know. But I do have that's where I started this business, was on the bar. It's Rum Haven rum, and
which is delicious, using fresh coconut water in the coconut rum, which is nice.
Coconut cream, pineapple juice, and a dark rum float.
Good thing to take away for our listeners is that, you know, as a restaurant owner, you know, beverage is where you drive a lot of your profit. And, you know, if you can be a better operator there in a very challenging time, it can help keep your restaurant moving forward, right? So looking at efficiencies behind your bar program, looking at the product that you're using, and finding ways to innovate and be forward thinking. You know, if you have a margarita on draft and you don't have to bottle that much in advance, you can bottle it on demand and put it in your to-go option that way when the orders come in, and then you keep using that for people that are in the restaurant. So it's almost like on demand to-go cocktails and on the batch there. So there's a lot of different options. I really like to see that. What about your food? What kind of food, you know, you talk a little bit about, what is Casa Loca known for here from a Mexican food? Are you really into the tacos? What is it that you're...
Yeah, tacos are hot everywhere, and I think that what we're seeing here is, you know, it all starts with the chips and salsa. Okay, what we try to get those out to the guests as soon as possible. So, you know, because people come in, they're hungry. You know, we'll get them to drink as soon as we can. We'll get them the chips.
And these are made fresh.
Made fresh, right here every day, and then we just try to get them, and then they can relax. They have something to nibble on, and then they can move through the menu. We've got the most popular appetizer right now is the Mexican street corn, which is amazing. And not the healthiest dish, I might add, but it's really good. And then we've just tried to, you know, everything we've learned at the local, you know, as far as what people want, price points and things like that, we've tried to carry over into Casa Loca. And, you know, the bowls, we have Mexican bowls that are very popular now, which is basically, you know, a burrito without the wrapper.
Because everyone's so conscious of
right. Carbs. Right? Yeah.
Yes.
And so those are very popular, and you know, and then the traditional, like, you know, I for me, my wife and I come here, I get the nachos and I'm done, you know, and it's you know, so and
2 margaritas and some nachos.
Yeah, right. 2 margaritas and nachos. That's my Friday night dinner.
So what's in store for the group as we continue to move forward? We're so happy to see that you've been able to continue to weather through this pandemic and keep your employees working and operating for customers. What's in store next?
Well, I think, you know, we're eternal optimists in this industry. So we've got to. Right now, we're still in survival mode. You know, we're trying to get past this and survive. But at the other end, you know, I think there's a pent-up demand for restaurants. There are still people, and we saw that with our patios. As soon as our patios closed, you know, we saw that pent-up demand to just kind of really slow down. But now it's starting to pick up a little bit, and then I think timing-wise, once we get these patios open again, I think you're going to see restaurants come alive again, and that'll help us get through the nice weather, and patios open will help us get to the other side and help restaurants survive. So maybe, you know, while we get vaccinations and things like that, that we'll come out the other end, maybe by the end of the summer.
Yeah, I definitely think there's some pent-up demand. I was on an app last night, and you can listen to people in a restaurant, and to hear drinks being made and noises in the background, it gets you excited to know what we're missing. But you know, as we come out of this winter and come into summer, I think people want to get out and experience restaurants, and we're thankful that we have your restaurants to be able to come into and to be able to experience. So thanks for taking some time with us today to talk a little bit about it. We're going to get started on some of these drinks. I know we have more food coming out. I can't wait to get into some of these nachos. So I want to thank you all for listening to another episode of Beyond the Bottle. We look forward to seeing you next time, and have a great day.